you know, phone it in for the rest of the season. They're trying their hardest.
Unless Monaco Gambit's got like Monaco's only got like a 1-year contract, and it's like okay.
It's still, dude. Gambit's a big deal. They have the best merch out.
Dude, their bomber jackets. Yeah, 2019 Birmingham.
Yeah,
I don't know if they still do them, but
they do.
They were comfy.
Yeah. Their CS:GO team's like top 5 in the world right now.
Maybe now shield for one to be sent to us, or what we doing?
I'm just trying to say respect.
Yeah, it's very comfortable.
10 seconds remaining.
Of course, I'm a big fan of the clothing given to us by ESL1.
That's true. I'd love more of it. The color scheme, the fit, the paneling.
Hey, Kyle, do you love it? You love it? You wear it, right?
Yeah.
Am I right?
You're right, Cap. Oh my God.
You're gonna like the way you look.
I love the way that you look.
All right. Enough of that shilling. Grimstroke and Void Spirits, I really...
Radiant team.
I don't think... Man, I just keep on going back to poor Rebel, man. Like, that guy deserved to win that game.
No, but actually, counter-argument.
He didn't die for 40 minutes.
Counter-argument.
Okay.
Can we get back to shilling real fast?
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
I've been pitching, and if anyone from BizDev is listening, there's a brand called I don't want to shill it, but basically they specialize in trimmers. Okay.
Oh yeah,
body hair.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh my God.
That would be such a great activation, right?
No one wants to see you. Please say you're not using the product, right?
We'd blur out. We would blur out.
Oh yeah. So now we can see a blurred Kyle.
I'm just saying. Yep. I've seen some of my colleagues' chests and backs,
Kyle,
and they could use some grooming. That's all I'm saying.
Just
think about
say my name if you want. You've seen my chest hair. It's majestic. You don't have to. What are you saying?
So Winstrike are going to be picking the Storm Spirits, while AS Monaco Gambit have Void Spirit. Very interesting, boys. Full Spirit heroes,
where we get the hot tub. But first, we need to.
Oh yeah, no, that's true. That's true. I know. I read.
Sorry, Cap. We're back to the draft. Void Spirit, Storm Spirit,
broadcast.
But what do you mean? Cap, you're sitting on the desk.
Yeah, that's because I'm not on camera.
Your shoes are untied.
No, they're not. I don't even have to look.
Your flies are undone.
That is also not true.
Thanks for high five, Kyle.
I like the Winstrike setup. I like Storm. This hero, I know he keeps getting first 2, but I still feel it's underrated because you just can't replace it. Grimstroke, we were discussing, has a slight nerf that seems altogether irrelevant. It's a 0.2 second less stun at max level, and then a 2% reduced move speed. It's like 16 now instead of 18%, which is just, it's one of those tweaks. It's just the, how do you test that?
They just got to the hero and it's like, we need to, we'll see how this goes. Yeah, that's fine. Like, to be fair though, the hero has got a terrible win rate in the pro scene. It is because so many teams like picking it. You do kind of tank the stats of these kind of lesser teams, given the go and then losing, of course. But I like how in the opening from both teams, you have the active mid enabled by the best support, right? Storm Tusk. Tusk is the tanky frontline, unlocks the vision of the fight. You can also go for your shard, send in your sigil, opens up Storm to get the perfect zip. On the flip side, Void Spirit, he lacks a little bit of damage sometimes. He needs that +1 accelerant. That's where the Grimstroke comes in. So yeah, heavily enabling the mids with the supports they've counterpicked with them.
Well, let us see.
Monaco Gambit.
I'm shocked I guess you don't want to pick Jug into Storm, but to ban it yourself when you have Grimstroke.
It's enabling the Void Spirits game. He's a hero that likes to jump in and be decisive. Oracle sits behind. You can't really do that on Void Spirit unless you're finding him. Always a difficult game plan. Wraith King and Jug, carries are independent. They thrive on the aggression.
This is that combo right here. Minus armor.
But that change didn't even feel that good. The 8 to 6 seconds, it's like, that's still enough time to slap the roach. And also, if you hold the last point, you can then reset that debuff anyway.
Exactly.
So it's technically like 12 to 14.
I like it, though, because it does add a bit of a skill cap 16. In a way. It's why I also like the Lina Fervor change, because sure, it wasn't even like being good to manage your 3 fervor stacks. It was just annoying because you would have to Dragon Slave with like 1 second remaining on your buff. Yeah. And it was tedious.
It's impractical.
Yeah. Because like, do I want to lose my buff or do I want to miss the nuke on the camp? It was silly. Yeah.
Just start using it randomly.
So because we ended up going for supports and mids at the very start of the draft, somehow Centaur was still left out. And Winstrike just gave it away. They gonna get Mars for themselves here or something?
I honestly,
I wouldn't. The issue here, I wouldn't mind like a dark, so it's like a bit more for pacing. But they also could just go for their carry right now because they see what the offlane is going to be presenting. It is surprising to see Centaur get through this far. Specifically because like to counter it in lane, it's a very small niche group of heroes that also aren't really too good into the meta. Like Jug's banned, of course.
Yeah,
don't want to go Slark. They can't go Monkey. Monkey's dead.
I argue that Gambit had the go-to combo to beat a Centaur, Witch Doctor Jug. Like, you really can't come up with something much better. And then they also had an ET, which was so valuable as an offlaner. Winstrike banned it out first too. So I think this is the dream.
I mean, like
they had an answer to the Centaur.
What do you guys think of Lifestealer?
Very good.
Instead of trying to kill the Centaur, just survive.
Stands ready.
Nope.
Lifestealer is for sure one of the better heroes against Centaur. It's more of a hero that plays independent rather than enabling the support to come in as well. You can get kills, but yeah. They go for the Sven instead. It's a hero that simply looks at the lane, farms it out as much as Centaur farms it out. You go optimize yourself into the jungle. Centaur just stays in the lane.
Yep.
Maximizing your map kind of.
You could Lifestealer here. It's a really good matchup against the Sven. Not ideal against Storm, but I think that you have enough catch.
Medusa.
I was going to say the same, but
that's why we
don't know if it's meta.
Psychic. Meta. Hellraiser's played it this morning. Kuman, he also went for a diffusal blade on the Medusa. Yeah, just trying to rip through these.
It doesn't split shot.
No.
Mana burn.
No. It's about just ripping through the hero.
Well, you get the
25
talent skill modifiers.
Yeah. There you go for Lifestealer.
Radiant team ban.
Alrighty, so AS Monaco Gambit are now just left with.
I'm sorry. He muted the mic to lecture me.
Yes.
He doesn't like when I make him look bad, which is somewhat ironic because he takes
every opportunity to make. Kyle, don't lie now. Don't lie now, honey bun. We spoke about this.
Okay,
I love you.
Okay.
You know, I was trying to cover for both of you by talking while you guys muted yourself and had a conversation.
It's fine.
It's much more fun to work with the mute button. I got to tell you.
I know, it's so refreshing when you just want to like hit a quick jibe, bam, and then like, oh, what happened? No one knows. It's when the mute button doesn't work. That's
it. When you think you have a mute button, but you don't.
I hope the mute button works. That's a good joke.
That is a tough one.
That is a tough one.
The Razor ban is also a tough one, along with the Necro, because those are the best options at dealing with what AS Monaco Gambit have in store. And if I'm them, I'm just picking a team fighter now, right? You need a final 4 position.
5
maybe
seconds.
a Willow?
Yeah, I still want the Willow here. Willow
looks really good because it's the root mechanic against Storm, against Tusk. Really annoying to deal with as a Sven as well. You just can't kill the fairy.
Well, SD was a nice one as well. But yeah, I think these are the same bands from the last game.
Radiant team
Is it just going to be the Willow? Oh, wow. Whoa.
I dig it, though. They had a lot of success with the Wisp.
Yeah. Winstrike's lineup is about, do we have God Strength? Do we get that critical zip off to kill them? And now, Void Spirit's elusive, Centaur's hard to kill, Lifestealer's hard to kill. The only hero dying right now is going to be the Grimstroke. And, Monaco, he thrives in this.
How long was that last game? I think that might have been the longest of the season.
I mean, it's like 56 minutes. I can quickly fact check you if you'd like.
I can't think of one that was longer.
Well, I'll check for you. Don't worry, mate.
It's interesting how the meta's changed. The game.
Oh my God! A last pick Timbers?
No.
Oh boy. Is it just me, or it feels like to me Winstrike forgot Centaur was in the game, and then AS Monaco Gambit forgot that Timbersaw was in the game.
Wow, that's such a dream Timber. Yeah, sure, the Lifestealer can be a bit of an issue, but man, this is one of Cheshire Cat's best heroes. And you don't really have an answer on the side of AS Monaco Gambit. This is nuts.
I was discussing how Gambit's draft is all about sustain, playing around the big cooldowns of like the Sven Ultimate, and that's about it. But now with this Timbersaw pick, he plays off of the fact that the early entry to the game from Gambit is so hard. They're locked into items, not levels. So Timbersaw offsets that. Sven goes jungle. I love this last pick, and it is enough to put the balance into Winstrike.
Whoa. I think this hero, they have 2 of my favorite heroes in Dota right now, Storm and Timbersaw.
Wow.
They're infinite scaling. They have a Sven, so the team will scale better. And it is really just a mirror match of our previous game, where if you're going to win this as Monaco Gambit, you have to play with a lot more tempo. You need your Lifestealer ahead and running at enemy heroes with this armlet, maybe into Deso, maybe an Echo Saber, rushed AC, something like that, and then playing with the Wisp, splitting the map, find kills, skirmishes all over.
I guess the key thing is, even though it's an amazing Timbersaw game, if you can find the space on that to ignore him long enough, lifesteal into Sven, of course, goes lifestealer's way. You can then offset that, and now the win condition isn't online. So it's very much for Winstrike to utilize that Timbersaw, unlock the Sven's game, get Aegis, look to end the game before you have some mid to late game annoyance of IO sustain.
And Storm's just finding your Wisp all game too. So it's really just about getting ahead of that. I think shutting him down will be key.
Kyle, you said it was kind of a mirror of last game. Why are you leaning more towards Winstrike this time around?
I think it's just solid. It's just easier to execute. I like a Sven more than a Jug. I like Timbersaw just in general. And
against all the strength heroes.
Yeah.
So Timbersaw's kind of like the X factor here.
Yeah.
All right, we'll see if that Timbersaw does manage to even out the series for Winstrike. Let's head over to ODPixel and Fogged.
Thank you very much, Cab. Yes, we had a pretty crazy game one of this best of three. Fogged, I've seen the draft set. Are we going to get just as crazy of a game this time round, or do you feel that someone has got one of those heroes that's going to sort of just control and be king of the whole game? As it does seem like the panel, they really rate that Timbersaw final pick here from Winstrike.
How did they get a last pick Timbersaw? And this hero's been banned like first 2, first 3, first 4 most games. I'm very surprised it made it through, especially if they're going to be going for the IO pick. Right? IO overall suffers a lot versus Timbersaw. You don't provide lockdown for your team. He's able to get on top of you. He's able to always just bring you down so quick with that pure damage and the Whirling Death, of course, with the stat loss. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just surprised to see it make it all the way through. But the good thing from Gambit is they do have very aggressive heroes. Just like last time, the Void Spirit, in particular, no one this time around, should be pretty free. There's a lot of telegraphed stuns. Just have to watch out pretty much just for the Storm connection onto him. Besides that, no one should have pretty solid game on the just like Rebel did last.
30 seconds to battle.
All right, well, let's see. Let's see if indeed Cheshire Cat can have a bit of a better time this time round, at least at the start, because we saw him struggle a lot last game in the laning stage.
Yeah, I'm a bit worried. I mean, I'll be honest, because of the way the Dream played in the last. Because a lot of this game is going to be up to the Lifestealer, what he builds and how he plays overall. And he made so many mistakes. He actually made so many mistakes in the last game that just brought Winstrike back. And this Lifestealer is like the most important hero. Like his build has to be perfect.
Well, let's see. Let's see how Dream's able to do this time round. And we'll, of course, again have the strong backing of the IO.
But they don't have the strong backing of Afterlife, who pretty much kind of took that game into his hands of carry from the offlane. Centaur, you're not going to be dishing out that much. You're going to be dishing out the control. So, see if Afterlife's able to at least do that front.
Now, it'll be interesting to see how well no one can do in the mid matchup against the Storm, because, you know, sometimes we have seen Storm Spirits straight up win the lane against Void.
He should. Storm should be able to take advantage of that one quite nicely. Gonna get pushed in all the way, so no one should be able to farm under his tower here, but that also means Rebel, he's at level 2. There's no denies coming up from Void Spirit yet, so he can bully no one just a ton of clicks. And they did actually do this, so it's gonna be the Grimstroke as a 4 in a way, playing with the Centaur, and the IO has to just play with the Lifestealer top. So it's a bit of a switch up. We don't see 4 quote-unquote Grim played very often.
Oh, well, I mean, and what does it sort of mean when you've got this here in this position? Is there any sort of item that you're looking to rush early? Like, what are the benefits of having it played down here?
Well, I think it's just that he wants to have a strong lane with that they can actually contest range creeps. IO doesn't provide you a way to secure range creeps. Yeah. Grimstroke will. So I'm saying 4, you know, I said quote unquote, because I think he's going to kind of be relegated to the position at some point anyway, because that's just how IO works. Nice. He can't secure range creeps. I say that as he actually just sets up the range creep for deny down bottom.
And then top lane, Cheshire Cat, what can they do to sort of stop him from having such a good game as the Timber? Is there any sort of... You feel whatever happens, Cheshire Cat is just going to have an easy time? Like that? Yep. They'll have to win the game around him.
Yeah, no, there's nothing they can do to push him out. He's got level 3 already. Their heroes just they don't do damage. Like they can chase him and be a little annoying. Dream can just sustain through him, but killing him or pushing out a lane, no. They'd have to bring like a 3rd or 4th hero or something like that, which you're not going to be doing so early on. Sustain game works though. As you see Dream, he just hits him, hits the creep as well. He's able to just keep full health with the overcharge as well. Immersion just has to be very wary of his positioning. He's the only one who can really die up here on both sides. Only way the Tusk dies, Yamich, is if you make some huge mistake like rolling in or playing under tower. Bottom? Cookie does get dodged. Monaco actually going to live because of that.
And I mean, top, can they dive in? You know, Yamichi's still sort of hanging around. You know, is there anywhere else that he can look to set up action, or is just this top lane really? Like, because he's not really needed to be here with the Timbersaw, is he? Like, Cheshire Cat will farm this lane happily solo.
He is blocking the camps, though, so he's ensuring that the XP is getting split between the IO and the Life Stealer, so there's at least that, but I do want to see him maybe make moves pretty soon. Like, Cheshire Cat is perfectly fine up here, so I do think Yamich can open up the map, look to make plays bottom, even in mid. Monaco.
Blood be.
Steps up way too far.
Good little boost here for Dracho to start things off. First blood on the Sven.
I was about to say, I don't think we're going to have a kill for a while, too, because these lanes they're pretty static. They're pretty boring the way they will be. It's only a misplay that will cause that to happen. Monaco heavily misplays. He just walks right up into the two of them there. Pentleman now gets a pull off, too, because of it, so it will reset that lane position a bit. But Afterlife, he's kept the creep wave right outside the tower. Oh, and look at that. So he's got... Okay, so I guess with the Grimstroke as well, he's playing more about a kill centaur rather than just the lane retaliate sustain. He's got 2 points in double edge. Usually you see just 2 points in retaliate, run away. You play more of this passive style and you farm against them.
Okay.
Nope, they're going to be looking for kills. These 2 points in double edge, so...
Yeah, I mean, will there be opportunities for kills, or you think it's going to be kind of hard against the Snapper Sven?
I think it should be pretty hard, yeah. I mean, they can get the Snapfire if he, like, messes up with the Cookie or something like that, but the Sven, I don't think they'll be able to get the Racho unless, again, a huge...
He's having the slow of the times in terms of cores picking up farm in this lane. He stays mid lane. Watching bottom. Okay, he's got to get out of it, but the Cookie's in. Swell stun buys him some time. Pulse of Salve will stop him from going down, but he may still die anyway. They're hunting in the trees. Afterlife. He's gone. So not only a salve being put to waste, also his life there as another kill here for Dracho in the safe lane.
Has to be cautious. Centaur, very low armor. Snapfire. Queen of reducing armor. I was going to say the king of reducing armor. Wait, she's a queen.
Absolutely. A little shredder in this lane. Just really setting up for the Sven to get these heavy hits in very early on.
They're moving. Okay, I love this. Look at Yamich's movement. The Centaur just TP'd down bottom, so if they kill him again, he's screwed. And they're going to go for it right away.
Yeah, bringing in extra TPs as well. But Yamich is here. They've got Afterlife. There's no escape.
Great move.
No one trying to play with the counter. Coming in with the jump over towards Dracho. He's out to the side. It's going to save him. Dracho is out. No one trying to get into to rectify the bottom lane. He couldn't get anything. That's just another kill, another death here for the Centaur.
And he tips him. Nice. Got him. Make him feel bad for his rotation for sure.
Dire's middle
He does survive Duracho. He will have to go back to base, but whatever. Pentleman now takes the lane, which never feels bad. Snapfires love it. 5 and 9 on Pentleman too. He's been getting some hefty denies in this bottom lane.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
There's Yamich. Has come over to the mid, but knows that... Actually, no one didn't have any further escape out. So they thought they didn't have enough damage between the two of them to commit onto the Void Spirit.
Love this move though from Yamich. Like what he's doing right now is he actually just
wait. What?
He almost got it.
Oh, yeah, he did. I thought he did actually. Yeah, but Monaco.
I did too.
Yeah, I was like, hang on. And then Monaco was actually able to pick it up in time. As ended up being a bit of a bait, but no, Afterlife can't get in for the hoof stomp, so Yamich will get away. That's a good job he did grab that. That would have looked pretty funny if he didn't. But,
yeah.
Monaco.
This whole rotation from Yamich is excellent, right? Like he's now forced the Centaur to be super afraid. Afterlife now being zoned off the wave, just like we saw last game from Cheshire Cat. Just from this little rotation, he's not wanting to die a secondary time as Rebel. He saw the stacks from that Tusk movement from earlier. They're going to start working on them. They actually have to start swinging over the IO and the Voice. They have to stop this. 4v4, let's go.
He's going to try and jump into start the fight. We'll be able to dodge the stun. Noah's cover is going to get taken out. I've got him in the vortex into the Cookie. Noah's still with an astral step at the ready. Jumps back over towards Pantomime. And with the X-Well stun onto the two of them. Follow of Who Stomp. They've caught the Sven. They've caught the Storm. Rebel. He's got a little bit more mana to play with. They're running him down. No one's going to have an ability up in a second. As indeed Rebel cannot get out. As they may have got in and taken some of the stacks away, but losing both the mid and the carry for that attempt.
Ends up, yeah, definitely not worth bringing both of them. That's for sure. painful hit, and it's a good place for Gambit to collapse like this with their heroes, right? With the 2 points in double edge, the 2 points in Inkswell, it looks beautiful. And a bit of a mistake too. I think Dyrachyo using the Stormhammer onto the Void Spirit was a bit of a slip up there. You should save it for one of the easier targets to hit, because no one dodged it, and then that's like their big setup stun. They had to throw everything else onto him, and they still couldn't bring him down. Slip up there from the side of Winstrike. I didn't see who cleared up the full stuff. I think it was a big split.
Trying to jump in along the river. They're going to try and get in on this, and Snowball will save him for the Inkswell stun. That's Rebel to push on, but no one's in with the counterplay. Comes in with the Astral Step, and Rebel's going to be careful. Doesn't want to go onto the high ground.
Top rune. The racing toward it. Rebel. He's going to try to force Immersion to take it. And he will not be able to. Great jump from no one. Well, bottom also, again, they get another kill onto Afterlife. The God Strength plus that minus armor. They also have Medallion. He dies very quickly. Centaur is struggling in this series.
Yeah, and it seems like both teams have just had pretty good answers to it in the lane.
Yeah, I like the concepts of there's just the Witch Doctor in the first one and just the Snapfire versus the Centaur in this one too. Just the minus armor in one way to be able to, because Centaur is good versus the effective damage, but when you're that reduced, you're not that good versus it at all. And then the other one, the Maledict, super effective as it is all that magic damage. Yeah, I like it. I like both approaches. And that does mean that this Snapfire getting so involved down bottom, he's going to be 6 any moment.
Radiant's middle
It's going to be a fast time, and they've got pretty good ways to set up for Pantomime to sit at the back of the fight and get the kisses off. Whether it be...
Afterlife is still 5, so no Stampede. The Snapfire is already 6. This next fight could be huge if Winstrike's able to get a positioning Snapfire. But Gambit, they're rotating down.
Oh, Pantomime pretty dead. There's no one
took it personally.
able to get him with the jump. Arcane going, he'll continue to push on.
You might know that there's a ward down bottom somewhere because of the way that no one did jump instantly. Top, we're seeing Dream doing a great job. He's just rushed that Maelstrom versus the Timbersaw. He's able to sustain versus him decently.
Radiant structures
be a little careful up there. Yes, actually, he's got Immersion around. Cheshire Cat's got a TP down bottom, as he's going to look to just move over here and position himself so he can stop them from taking an early tier 1.
I like it. Yep. I like that whenever I see these movements from Timbers. You're just unkillable beast. Don't let them get any type of map advantage. 10 minutes hits.
And there is going. He's getting a lot of action here on the Void Spirit. Finds the setup onto Yamich. The Phantom's Embrace, keeping him completely silent. It's not a chance. Rebel's coming in with a haste rune to try and find Monaco in return. Gets the silence down, but Bug's taken away. Monaco will still be found. Rebel will ever get something in return here. Both mids starting to get some kills.
Yep. And they actually killed the Yule Scepter.
Is under attack.
Did the creep end up finishing it? Wait, what?
Okay, yeah, where was it going? I guess it must have.
I thought I saw the Snapfire hitting it, but then it looks like a creep maybe last hit it, like a Null Assassin, Fool Assassin or something hit it. I don't know. That is the Yule Scepter, at least the recipe dead, and he would have it done now too. So a minute and a half where no one is not gonna have that.
Yeah, how are we doing on the Orchid timing for Rebel? He's very close to it, so he's actually going to be able to have it for a bit of a window now where he'll have the Orchid and the Yules won't be ready for no one.
That will be huge. Yeah, if he makes the move in the next 30 seconds or so. And he's got Fairy Trinket too, so perfect pick up for the Storm. Ancient's now starting to get worked on for Afterlife. He's now gone back into the Retaliate build after putting some double edge. Looks like they're attempting to go for a smoke here, but the creeps keep hitting Afterlife for a sec. See what they're able to make. If they can catch Cheshire Cat alone with 0 stacks, they might have the control and damage, but is that the target you want to go for?
They're going to try, see if they can burst him. Have they got enough damage? Yeah, we were Dream coming in as well. They will. They need to commit a lot.
Relocate spotted.
Yep.
Phantom sees it.
And they do it on the way back. Rebel. The position. Dream's going to come back over, but the IO very dead. And they get Dream as well. They got the punch out. Rage comes to an end. Dream's into the creep though, and the backup's here. No one. Jumps in with the Astral Step. They're able to soulbind the two of them together as Pantomime and Yamich will be punished. It's ASM Gambit, they can swing over in time to make sure that, that they punish Winstrike for trying to stick around and fight on the return of the IO.
And they're doing it with speed. That's the important thing that we saw last time also from Gambit, just playing quick around the map. And that was the window, right? That was where Storm has Orchid. The Yules was not finished off from the Void at base. The Yules is now coming out to beat them, so will be a little bit harder for Rebel to find that target at least.
Radiance are scanning.
Getting the time and space now to clean up the Ancients, get the Sanj out on top of the Maelstrom, so you know that combined with the backup of Immersion is going to make him a rather tough target to jump upon.
I want him to get the Halberd. I think I'd like Halberd Maelstrom this game, and then he can go for something like Scotty. I think Scotty's still really effective versus Timbersaw on Sven, because you know that they're going to get BKB on Sven eventually. Timber's health reduction and just the chase overall. I think that could be a really nice if Dream's able to get it. Really diving forward here.
And then they're diving in deep in, and they'll be able to burst Afterlife. No struggles there with the setup of Rebel heading in from the side. Now they'll give them the space to probably take this tier 1 tower. No one's still hanging around. Jessica diving in onto Seneko.
Radiant structure.
And Seneko, he doesn't want to mess around with his Timber anymore. Immediately TP's out.
Has fallen.
We get the tower, Winstrike.
D-word. He's done. Phantom's still not able to find a window to use Mortimer Kisses. Feels bad when he was level 6 so early on. SNY instead. I mean, that's fine too. I think Halberd feels a little... It feels really nice versus Sven overall, because he never wants to build MKB. The evasion and the disarm is super strong, but kind of just go for SNY for status res anyway.
Okay, yeah, kind of
super strong.
Yeah, just better for his own game personally, I guess, when it comes to farming and moving around the map, chasing down. There's nothing to be found. Seneko preparing in case the jump was to be made.
Is under attack.
Farm-wise, yeah, Dream still keeping himself at the top. Been catching up a little bit, but so far so good here from Dream.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Very close early game here. This Lifestealer just a bit ahead of his counterpart. Now we see Gambit, they're finding a window to push bottom. They have spotted Afterlife up top though. Even though he's Vanguard with Centaur, he's only got 5 armor. So Medallion plus Little Shredder and Tag Team, they'll kill him in no time.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
They know he's still over here too. Phantom is very well aware.
Bottom tower is under
Keeps
attack.
pinging out the side over here, but won't be able to scout him out. Just chilling. Digs up a bounty run on Afterlife.
Bottom tower has fallen. Dire's top tower is under attack. Dire's structures are fortified.
Very patient.
And he's sticking around. Maybe he'll cut a creep wave after the tower's gone down, but
Dire's top tower.
the mid lane's going to be there. Yeah, just to turn up a Cheshire Cat, and that's all that's needed really to stop them pushing.
They get the setup on top though.
But they've got the Sven. And he's been left behind. I mean, that'll do there for ASM Gambit. Getting Dracho as the rest of Winstrike have retreated.
They're on the reload, so Immersion will just go down. Nice.
And losing the Sven.
Gambit just chilling. They were just so patient from Afterlife to get some extra information too. They did have that ward that was up there to see some TPs cancel. They just went.
Trying to see if they can...
That's hurt. Sven getting slowed down a lot.
Yeah,
already now
he's
where
falling.
Lifestealer's already ahead of him, so that means he's going to have this one up of an item. Lifestealer's actually I like this actually. The Bastion with the SNY is also a good one.
They're going to try and see if they can burst Cheshire Cat, but backup's in. They're coming from the side with the snowball straight down on towards Seneko. Seneko falls. Damage getting turned upon him by Dream. Dream's got the damage. They take down Damage in return. They're going to try and chase for more. Rebel's low mana. Dracho comes in. They try and focus the IO, but they're controlling him with the Yule Scepter. He's trying to turn a fight into Dream with the Godstrike, but he just doesn't do enough damage. Now the Rebel falls out. Dracho is going to get burst down. As Dracho falls yet again. Dream's game continuing to get propelled so far ahead of that of the Svens. And they're going to continue to chase here. Panto is out to the side. He's going to try for the TP out, but the damage is there. Dream takes down another as the distance between him and Dracho Sven just grows and grows.
Radiant structures.
Dracho showing back up to fight.
Radiant's middle
He's hurting his
tower
own
is
game
under
so
attack.
much as the Sven showing back up into the fights. Dream can just fight versus him easily.
Yeah.
He didn't even have the SNY out because his courier actually died with his Yasha. This is before he even had his full kit of his items, and he's gonna have another item on top of the Sven. Fights are starting to look quite difficult for Winstrike. Even though they got, what, a full Mortimer kiss off onto everybody, they still couldn't really kill any of the big targets. They only kill that Centaur.
It's just a 1k gold difference, but we're really feeling the difference in the carries. A lot of weight on Winstrike's other two cores, the Storm and Timber, to really pop off in the fights. As they've got some carrying to do here whilst they buy time for the Sven Dracho to get in a place where he's going to be able to turn up and clean up in these fights. He's over to the river. They've got enough burst, they do. They're able to make the jump, lock him down. No one will fall.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
And they're going to get even another surprise. They're going to get the relocate kill too. Big hit from Winstrike. Expected the consistency of chain stun coming out from Winstrike. That was really nicely done with the cookie. Perfectly using every single disable. Dyrachyo though, he has to be careful. He at least has more vision up here.
And he's got the team coming over. Winstrike.
Okay.
Looking for Monaco. Monaco just hiding in the trees here.
He throws the scan out. He knows they're all around him. Look at the ward coverage of this enemy Winstrike. Not able to find Monaco.
Oh, very nice hiding spot.
All right, Dream. This matchup starts to get pretty hard for the Sven too as it does progress. Sure, Sven starts to deal more damage, but Lifestealer's talents really start to kind of break the matchup, especially when he hits 20. Sure, it's still some time away, but as we said, evasion is going to be devastating for this Sven to deal with. And this Lifestealer just has he has a full item on top of the Sven, and it's going to just keep getting worse if he doesn't start getting a successful fight.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
And they're looking for him. Like, Gambit is just constantly hunting for Dyrachyo.
Yeah, they know that he's having to spend time picking his game back up, and he is getting it. With the passive moments, he is able to farm that much more efficiently than Dream in comparison. He's closing the gap a little bit.
Huzzah! Does he have the same backup though, right? They do almost have Solar Crest at least on the Snapfire, so that'll be nice. No blink yet on Yamich. They will get an Arcane Rune for Rebel. He's level 15, he's got Kaya too.
My eternal
big moment for the Storm Spirit.
No, definitely a good fight to be had here.
And they see Afterlife too. These deep wards that they placed earlier, it might get them some kills here. No one scouts it.
He's being careful, he knows there's a lot behind him.
Taunts him. I love that Void Spirit taunt. And now an Aghanims for Nolan. So fights, if he's able to get these Blanket Silence, now it's hard for the Storm. Even for Timbersaw, the support's also a lot more vulnerable. Soulbind, as well as Phantom and this other Silence coming out from Void Spirit. It might trip up the fights a lot before they have any BKBs. Might have to be a little careful fighting into Nolan right now.
Dream as well, having the Basher done. So extra little bit of catch that might cause issues for the cause, especially the Storm and Timber if they're trying to break away.
Even takes the out talent on the Lifestealer too, so look at his durability. 20 armor, 2400 HP with
and no one's in. They go to try and start off the action. They get the jump in onto Yamich. Yamich trying to take the fancy embrace off the little shredder being used to get those extra hits and to remove the silence. Dream. He's going to commit it on the backline. Dream, he needs help. He's going to get it. Immersions in with the tether. That's just the bash off. Now going over towards them. They got the Snowbind looking down the two of them. Dradsho's going to go down. Jump over from Afterlife. He finds the Houston connection onto the Timber. So Chess again trying to chain away, but the bash is in. Dream, the rest of them, they're looking for the other kills. They want to try and ignore the Timber Sword, take down the easier targets. Dream's charging down Pantomime with the Ink Swirl. They'll be able to close the gap, get the stun off. Panto gets taken out. Damage. Maybe the next target here if Dream can find him. Yamich. He's going to be able to be fine here. They won't search any further. Dream actually just TPing back. They'll look to resume farming. I mean, they're of course going to be happy with that. Again, another situation where they're taking out this Sven. They're not getting punished other than the kill on no one, but yeah, Dream's game continues to be perfectly fine. He's out and the farm continues for him while Sven sits at the sidelines.
And you can tell he's just perfectly fine on the Lifestealer there too. The IO coming in with the mech, this crazy sustain that pushes him over. No one does make a little bit of a mess up overextending. think Winstrike was quite happy and quite fortunate with the way that fight was looking. Yeah, they need BKBs. Both the Storm and the Sven now before this next fight, they need the BKB or they will just keep getting smashed. Too much silence, too much control. And Cheshire Cat's just getting ignored in a lot of the fights. He got like so bound up and then they just left him to do whatever as they chased the rest of the heroes.
Well, towards the rush maybe here, Slim Gambit.
This is a good force.
I mean, yeah.
Winstrike's ready to fight. Yeah, without BKBs, like there's just no way that they can take this head-on fight unless they do some massive outplay.
There's some Gambit. They're holding strong in the pit. What can Winstrike do to try and push them away? They know they're in there. Maybe look for a steal with Rebel if he times it right. No one. He's actually going to start the action first. And make the jump with the Astro Step. Look at the backline to get the silence out with the Pulse. They're focusing Yamage. This is the zip in from Rebel on the backline stream. He's able to find his way over towards Dracho. If they control him with the Yules, the rest of Winstrike trying to swing around to help out Dracho from the stun onto no one. Yules control onto Dream, but they can keep on pushing on. They'll take down Sven yet again. It's a great kisses from the side from Pantomim. Actually enough to set up to get the four of them. And Pantomim may have just saved the fight. He absolutely has. They get the cleanup. Triple kill for Cheshire Cat as Panto. Perfect position. They couldn't get anyone on top of him. As his setup there with that amount of damage gives enough confidence for them to just keep on fighting and turn the entire team fight around.
And that's pre-BKB that they're able to take that fight. Just everyone, I want to see them, they all just hug. Everyone on top of each other, like 4-man whirling death, 4-man chakram. That was kind of the only dream situation that Winstrike could hope for in the fight. Just overextending, just going too much on the Sven. Rebel able to do everything inside the fight. And this is perfect.
Yeah.
So much focus on this Sven.
They just have both of their cores trying to bring down Thiracho. In fact, all three now. Afterlife jumping in as well, but there they are. So they get caught in the combo. Cheshire Cat and Pantomim's damage flying in. Back in action though, Cheshire Cat. Back in the game, and he's dead. He is dead. They did, of course, finish off Roshan. Winstrike. Aegis on Rebel.
It's still a huge window. Like they got Roche in a position that they probably shouldn't have because of the state of not having BKBs into all these silences and control. Storm is level 18 with BKB, with Arcane Moon, with Aegis. One of the best heroes that you can possibly have to carry it. And the Sven now pretty much has BKB too. So the fights now for them will be a lot easier to approach.
It's going to be much more difficult for no one to start the fights the way he has previously, just jumping in and trying to get that initial setup. Cores are going to be ready. Now, yeah, 3k up Winstrike, closing that gap. You know, Dream may still be at the top. The rest of the core starting to fall behind, as you see Afterlife. You know, certainly his farm has slowed down completely.
Yeah, not going to be able to do the same thing as he did as an Elder Titan. He's just the control. Controlling the buff ups for the Lifestealer, who now is level 18 too. He doesn't quite have his Satanic done, but I think he wants this just for the Dispel, in particular versus the Annoying Orchid that will be coming out always. But it's not going to give him enough damage. And as we said, Thiracho starting to catch back up. Same thing with Rebel.
Dire's middle tower is
having a hell of a
attack.
series on its Rebel, even though they lost that last game, like we said. 5-1-7 this time on the Storm.
Let's see if he can close out the victory this time round. As you said, he did pretty much everything he could in that last game. No doubt about it.
A man to watch out for in a lot of these games.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
I mean, there's some gaps. Do they want to try and fight whilst the Aegis is up on Winstrike? Or
no, I think if they can look for pickoff because they have relocate. I think Winstrike constantly hunting them right now.
That Rebel straight in. Big zip here as he tries to get aggressive down around the bottom lane.
Fortified.
Dreams keeping it in the trees, so Cheshire Cat's gonna hunt them down.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
They feel so much stronger because BKBs, they're just not at risk of getting caught now with the two frontline heroes. They don't have to worry so much about that annoying Void Spirit, annoying Ink Swell stun combo from Centaur. They just have to kind of dodge for some time here until that Aegis does get reclaimed, but gives Winstrike so much time to catch up. Thiracho, he's fully recovered.
Now we see Dream trying to get the Satanic done. Do you like this, or do you feel he could have done we're going for a bit more aggression of his book, getting some more damage online?
I kind of wanted him to go for more damage. I actually wanted him to start like that so he can chase through these BKBs now that you know they're at. It's a more defensive posture. It's him trying to spell annoying orchids and stuff like that. But is that going to be the solution now at this point? Now that you're starting to fall behind, I think you probably do want some way to deal with those BKBs besides just a basher.
And especially having the halberd and invasion on Cheshire Cat. And she said at the start it was going to be a good game for Timber. It's really getting to that point where it's going to be very, very hard, if not just impossible, for them to bring down Timbersaw in the fights.
Under attack. Radiant's
They'll just have to dance around him. They have to go for every other hero and then focus on the Timbersaw. But we saw, that can also be a problem. Cat can just delete heroes if they do just forget about him for too long. Level 19, he has got the flamethrower.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
Taking these towers without any response now from ASM Gambit. They know it's tough to turn up and do anything about these pushes from Winstrike.
They're reloading though. They saw an opportunity when they're split. But Winstrike quickly collapsed on top of it.
Cheshire Cat just knowing he can stand here at the front and never going to be making a jump onto him. Dream is very close to having the Satanic complete.
Okay, and he does find an Elven Tunic, so Elven Tunic, and when he gets to 20 count, that evasion will be a bit annoying for the Sven to deal with, because he's never wants to build toward that MKB, as we said earlier. Oh, he just blocked his Ancient Cap. Oh, that feels bad, Dream.
Radiant are scanning.
Nice.
And he's spotted down here. They have
they know. So, I mean, they're going to keep pushing on top. They're hunting in the trees. And they'll be able to find him. Soneko, and he's caught. Really starting to fall apart here a little bit, ASM Gambit. As Winstrike, they're just making all the moves, taking all the objectives. Getting that roast out of Aegis was huge for them. It's absolutely just put them straight in the lead now.
I mean, winning a fight 3 BKBs versus all of Gambit's timings was absolutely instrumental for them.
I mean, they're just going to push high ground. Yeah, what do you do? How do you stop this?
Dire's top tower has fallen.
They're going to try. BKB gets started, goes and jumps in. It's the Lotus Song. Dream tries to jump with the heels to help out. That fire does get put to a stop as no one's able to jump to the back lines with the silence. Rebel committing in with BKB onto Soneko. Soneko, it's going to be fine, but no one likely. They get the control onto the Void Spirit. Dream getting healed up by Immersion, but does he actually have the damage? The X-Force Stone will go off onto the three of them. They're focusing the Sven. They are able to take him out. Draccio goes down. Yamich, who's running with the spy legs, but he won't be able to escape. Also falls. Cheshire Cat's able to get in and cut down Afterlife. See if they can bring down Cheshire Cat. Silence in place. Rebel, he's jumping back in on the back lines. He's been able to get it over above the IO. They turn the silence. Rebel's actually going to end up dying for that attempt. Panto as well will fall. A triple kill for Dream. As I mean, it cost them a couple of buybacks, but they hit back very hard against Winstrike there. Winstrike losing a lot on that attempt from them to try and break the set of racks. The racks stay up. ASM Gambit are able to defend.
Rebel just gives his life. He jumps in trying to get a kill on a support, but just dies. Quick Orchid, quick removal by Afterlife with that Lotus Orb, kind of turns everything around, resets the positioning of the fight. No one gets completely annihilated from the chase though. It does allow Dream to kind of clean up the side of the fight. Just winning absolutely everyone.
Back in action, Cheshire Cat. He's got to be careful here. He's got the four of them going onto it, and they've got the bashes. He's going to be able to get to the high ground. Ooh!
Albert saves him.
Well, I mean, that was very, very close there. Damage. Gonna be able to catch the Soneko here on the way out, and with the snowball they're chasing in. They've got a stampede from the Remnant as well. Actually, let's hold back Draccio. Shards are gonna miss. They're controlling him. Afterlife, no, they're gonna jump back over towards him, but the cookie's in. Over towards Afterlife. BKB's out. They're committing onto the central. They'll take him down. Afterlife falls. So Draccio can get more over the BKB. Got strength. He's looking to emerge. Controlled by the snowball. And hit for two. Ralph's ready to dive in for the back lines. Catches Soneko here on the retreat. Limicate. Is he gonna save him from the soul burn damage? It won't. Dust is out. Cheshire Cat gets the kill.
Right back the other way. Rebel very low on mana, but a great chase forward, just getting all these kills. Afterlife they're trying to save Soneko there, and they actually get themselves triple. Hero is dead because of it. Just Stampede trying to bail him out. And back straight up the top. Draccio will be able to claim
Dire's top barracks has fallen.
Yeah, this time around, ASM Gambit, they won't have the defense to push back.
Dire's middle tower is under
As they might get more than just the one set. The mid lane also getting pushed in by Winstrike. Dream, what's the move? He's going to start cutting creep waves, but they've already got a couple coming in. So Winstrike, they're not going anywhere. They'll push on.
Flamethrower back up in 2 seconds. Hold on, Rebel.
Oh, he was a little scared. The Archetype's actually able to get the stun onto the two of them. No more Cookie out of the side. They're trying to get out now. Cheshire Cat and Yamach still on the front lines. They'll come in over towards the center. No one jumps across with the Astral Step. He's got the damage to take down Yamach. Yamach falls. So they can get the rest out there. Dream's chasing. They go for the TP. Anything to cancel it? There isn't. Cheshire Cat makes it away, but they got what they came for. The full set of racks top and the melee racks mid. Only losing Yamach for it. They'll take that any day of the week.
Huge hit. No one has to be careful with his life since he did have 5 back earlier on, but a big hit from Winstrike is turning it back. As Roche, about a minute left on that one. Dream, we're still seeing he's super powerful, but they are kiting him around quite a lot. So he has queued up that Scotty as we kind of expected he would do versus the BKBs and that Timber. And does feel like he needs it. He really needs to carry this game pretty hard right now, it's feeling, as no one is just getting focus fire. They're sticking onto this poor voice clearance so much. No one's gone for the beat. We'll have some, at least, defensive measures to cover himself.
Yeah, for sure, he's just not having the chance at all in these fights. One step in the wrong place and it's getting blown up. You know, this fan's certainly hurting. They can set up for Duracho to close up on his targets, and the last 3 times with Rebel, Yamach's initiation, they certainly have.
And they're smoking. They're looking for no one again.
Whoa. Afterlife scanning things up from the high ground. Also giving some good information, Dream. Did he get halberded? See the jump in the back line. Rebel's gone for Sneko. Sneko's never popped the charge. He's out, actually. The Dumpy's popped. Rebel's now. He's not the one that's got to be careful. The BKB's popped. But they link together behind the Soulbind. They're in onto the Storm Spirit. Phantom is very silent. Comes in as well. Followed up by the Pulse Stream. He's on top of the Sven. Dracho, he's in trouble. They get back in. They'll take him down. Dream gets the 1. He gets the 2. He's over the Storm as well. Rebel goes down. Now they're looking for Cheshire Cat. And he's been left behind. Everybody else is dead. The Bloodstone heal buys him time. The chase is there. No one closes the gap with the Astral Step. They've got multiple silences to lock him down. The back is out. Cheshire Cat still living, but the Remnant placed perfectly, almost predicting the angle he'd try and Timber chain out at, as this time it's ASM Gambit that Team White Winstrike.
BKB from no one was the absolute difference. And great positioning, as you said. Afterlife up on the high ground. Where was Snapfire ult, right? He just completely sat on Snapfire, so she couldn't actually walk into the fight at all. She was completely zoned out, and no one with his BKB. He pulls the attention of absolutely everybody on the side of Winstrike. He controls them in effectively, it's like 9 seconds of his BKB. He controlled the whole Winstrike team. Lightstealer shows up. The BKBs are down on the Storm and Sven. He just goes to town.
Hey, really, we'll see this again. Sven taking them down 1 by 1. As soon as this sort of comes to an end, and the fact that Dream just goes completely unchecked in the team fight.
Yep.
They just cannot deal with this Lightstealer staying consistently at full HP. It's just never a target that once the fight starts, anybody on Winstrike is going to feel good prioritizing. He's just too strong.
And that was pre-Eye of Scotty. So now for the next fight, he's even stronger on top of it all. And now no one has his own protection. So the BKB last time, now he's got a cheese too. Yeah, so Gambit maybe have found their footing now after that last big fight. Dream, an absolute monster with the IO behind him.
That is just huge.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
They come out with the smoke here, Winstrike, but what kind of jump can they make? Rebel's going to try. Found Sneko. Coming with the 10, and Snake's going to be healed up, and he's going to be safe. They get the lowest. They've got the controls on the Sven into who's done. They make the jump over towards Dracho. Dracho is able to get the BKB off the leash. It's just ruining this Storm's game. Rebel has to zip out to safety. And Merchant getting healed up here by the Infest. They're trying to keep their eye alive, but the eye will still fall. Dream, used up for now. Afterlife moving in position. Look for the stun control. Yamach is going to get bounced aside by the Cookie. Dream, and no one. They're chasing down Dracho. They're going to be able to buy a bit of time here with the Invis, but the sentries dropped down by Sneko. They'll continue to push on Rebel. He's caught by the Remnant. Rebel's going to go down. They've lost the Storm. Dream's ready to turn over towards Yamach and Pantomem. Panto will buy time for himself with the Ghost Scepter. No buyback available on Rebel, though. He cannot get back in the fight. Panther's going to try for the TP out, but they've got the stuns to stop it. Another kill for ASM Gambit. There's now a good bit of window. 60 seconds, no Storm.
And the second fight now, where I see the leash, it just sticks on like the perfect target. It gets onto the Storm Spirit the second time. The first fight it got on the Storm and the Tusk, so the Tusk couldn't snowball save. Some phenomenal RNG perhaps with the secondary leash, but just still sticking on Rebel, and Rebel tries to go save Dyrachyo, and he walks into an 8th Remnant and ends up getting killed from the chain stun.
They're struggling massively in these last few fights. Rebel just getting completely controlled even through the BKB, and now Dream's up to the high ground. And they still have that Aegis.
Radiant structures are fortified.
How do you stop this Lifestealer? Just taunting in front of them.
It's under attack.
All the buffs, overcharge from Solar Crest, which is mad, and the Holy Locket behind him, even a Paladin Sword on the IO to boot for even more healing.
They just can't get in on him. Taking down the red. They'll have Rebel up in a few seconds. We'll see if that changes much, but the last few fights it hasn't. They're trying to get on the backliners again. They're looking for Immersion. With the silence, Rebel with a big zip. He's able to get the pull back on the iron cannon. Burst through Immersion in time. Immersion getting low, but no, he's fine. Immersion's able to step out of the side. Rebel's got to back off. Again, he's committed with the BKB, but he has to use to get away. Dyrachyo jumps in. Will manage to take down Immersion, but now he's committed. Dream, no one. They're looking to continue to keep the silence. No one's up to the high ground. Stops the ultimate hit from Snapfire, but they lost Dyrachyo. Sven goes down. No one. Dream. They're still full HP. Rebel's going to jump back in, but he's got to be so careful. There's no BKB available on Rebel anymore. It's still on cooldown. They'll lose Yamage. Rebel cannot fight into this any longer.
Dyrachyo commits, so he does get the kill on the IO, but he jumped in, no BKB, nothing else, just the God String. He two-shots the IO, to be fair, does finish him off. But now he's dead for such a long time, and Monaco finds himself in that double barrel.
Rebel. Big aggressive zip it onto no one. He does not do enough damage though, and his BKB is still on cooldown. Speed away.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
I mean, that's one of those plays that hurts a bit. You know, that's a play, definitely some frustration fueling that sort of move.
Oh man, it's too hard for them to fight into this lifesteal. Dream is just absolutely immortal. Like all these buffs too, the Ink Swell dispels, just everything coming into play. The IO almost survives. He doesn't get the cheese off like we said because he got two-shotted, but I do want to point out this build. I don't remember who did this the first thing too, but just dodging Spirits. He actually just puts all his points in stats. I didn't point that out earlier, but kind of a funny approach here from the IO. He's tanking himself up.
Yeah, I guess, you know, very selfish though. Wants to make sure he's not accidentally like taking CS, or no, he's not going to be hitting any creeps. Just all about, you know, being there, being alive here for your teammates.
I didn't actually notice that. More focused on Dream cleaning up and everything.
Well, you feel like we don't see any other IOs do this.
I don't think I've seen any support IOs doing this, but it's clever. Look how he's unbelievably tanky because of it. He still dies because he gets focused so hard, but that's cool. Very cool approach. I love stats as well. All of us Dota 1 players used to love our stats.
Oh, they're ready to push in. Rebel's up in a few seconds.
Just getting reclaimed in 1 second.
Okay. Go on. I'm just going to start things on in Cheshire Cat. They also get the control on the Dyrachyo at the side. Cheshire Cat starting to back off. Centaur's going to be focused first. They bring down the Centaur with no struggles. Rebel is released again. He can't get out. Rebel goes down. Dead for 80. The tip's coming out as well from Monaco. He knows that these soul bites are just ruining the Storm's game. Dream's pushing in. Dyrachyo, he's put the contract, but he's got to run, and he can't. The bash is there. Dyrachyo goes down. Both cores out of the game. No buybacks for Winstrike as they're getting forced right back towards the fountain. Dream's charging in, setting up for the X-Well stun. On for the two of them. Yamage and Cheshire Cat fall. Buying back. I mean, you said he had to play without the mistakes of game 1 to take this one away, and he certainly has. No mistakes to be had here from Dream, as he's played it perfectly. They're fighting right up towards the fountain. They know there's nothing that Winstrike can do to turn this around with their 2 main cores dead, without any measure of getting back into the action. That's 5 heroes dead, no buybacks.
Radiant's middle has fallen.
Leashes. Oh my god, that last one, Cheshire Cat walked in to try to bail Rebel out, and it actually just got his leash. So a couple of these leashes just absolutely instrumental. From Gambit with Dream. What a performance on the Lifestealer. Actually ends up perfectly. It actually ends up being excellent, and no one being really disruptive, except for that like 1 or 2 fights that they had around Ancients. No one does a great job of just being so annoying. He just jumps on 3 or 4 heroes, keeps silencing and disrupting the backlines.
Yeah, excellent stuff. 15-1-16 on the Lifestealer and just backed up perfectly. Yeah, so many fights as well. I feel we saw, Rel, but he knew that he had to deal